So then, tell us a bit more about the countries that you have been visiting.
Okay, well, our project started in Mexico. We visited, I wasn't there personally, but our group visited some of the ruins, Palenque and Chichen Itza, on their way down to Chiapas to visit some Zapatista autonomous communities. And so that was a very, very incredible and powerful learning experience. As you may know, the Zapatistas are very well known internationally. They're a very well known indigenous group that's been resisting their political and economic marginalization and striving for autonomy, especially since their revolt in '94. After they were severely harmed by NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement. And so that was a very great experience. They were able to discuss political issues with the community, and we weren't able to videotape it. They're very strict about what you're allowed to take pictures of and what you're not allowed to record. And it was a very incredible learning experience. From there we went down into Guatemala and stayed at an agricultural cooperative of former guerrilla soldiers that's called Nuevo Horizonte. It's in the Petén region of Guatemala. This is an incredible community. I stayed there last year for a month in an educational cross-cultural learning experience, and we learned about their history and right into the modern day and what they're striving for, and it's really incredible, their vision of ecological sustainability and food sovereignty and autonomy. They've been very, very active since they obtained their parcel of land back in '96 when the peace accords were signed in Guatemala after the Civil War, and they're leading a whole kind of cooperative movement in that area of the Petén. So we were able to visit their community and also other cooperatives in the region who are doing really incredible work. For example, La Otra Cooperativa, which is actually a cooperative formed of mostly international activists from all over Latin America who have come there to offer their support in terms of facilitating the popular education program, publishing books and other information, little pamphlets, and they do work internationally. They helped distribute information that wasn't coming from the big media companies during the golpe de Estado in Honduras last year, the coup d'etat, and they're just some really incredible things happening there. From there we went down to the kind of the northwestern region of Guatemala and visited with an organization called CCDA, and particularly a cooperative called Café Justicia. CCDA is the Comité de Campesinos de la Altiplano de Guatemala. So it's a big umbrella organization who works to empower the campesinos that farm coffee and vegetables and everything in the highlands of Guatemala. And it was very interesting there, actually. Café Justicia just had a big incident where they got all their coffee stolen, and one of the leaders of the organization was actually shot at while driving his car. No one knows who it was. Either paramilitaries hired by elites who don't like what they're doing, trying to empower the campesinos who have been oppressed by foreign investors for centuries, since colonization. So it was very, very interesting to see the work that they're doing, trying to empower the people who work the land and creating ownership amongst peasants who have for a long time never had any kind of power over their work. From there, they went down into El Salvador, which is where I met up with them. They visited an organization called Cryptes, and in the north, in the Región de la Libertad, and they were an absolutely incredible organization working again, to empower people who have been oppressed for a long time, and to revive art, traditional artisan work, handmade cloth and clothing, Mayan tradition that was lost during the war. From there, we traveled in other places in El Salvador and went to Honduras and did a little loop. We met with organizations that are actively a part of the resistance front against the coup d'etat last year. So they've been mobilizing to advocate for human rights and empower the people by giving them appropriate information about what's actually happening in the country. There's a lot of misinformation through mass media because it's owned by the people who orchestrated the coup d'etat. So that was a very, very powerful experience to see how many people have been beaten up and or completely disappeared for their political activism opposing the coup d'etat and the de facto government that followed, which was only really recognized by 4 countries in the world and completely rejected by the international community as any form of legitimate government, completely undemocratic,